All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with lesson 16. Today we're going to start getting into a little different concept. Today's objective is I can generalize rules for adding and multiplying even and odd numbers. So we're going to be going over the rules for adding and multiplying even and odd numbers. So an opening exercise says, what is an even number? Okay, I don't want an example. Okay, I want a description of an even number. So an even number can be divided by 2, okay, and it will have 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8 always in the ones place. Okay, list some examples of an even number: 78, 108, 204, 1,672, 626, and those are just some examples, okay? So, what is an odd number? Well, an odd number cannot be divided by 2. And in the ones place, an odd number is going to have a 1, a 3, a 5, a 7, or a 9. Okay? In the ones place, always. So if a number is odd, it cannot be divided by 2, and it's always going to have those numbers in the ones place. It says list some examples of an odd number. I have 7, 73, 109, 555, 13, 11. Those are just some examples of odd numbers. Okay, what happens when we add two even numbers? Do we always get an even? 6 plus 6 equals 12. Let's see if this is true. Exercise 1 says, what is the sum of two even numbers? Think of the problem 12 plus 14. Draw dots to represent each number. So I'm going to draw dots to represent (12) and 14. And then letter B tells me to circle pairs of dots to determine if any dots are left over. So I have 1, 2. So I'm just circling the pairs. I'm going to see if any are left over. And we see none are left over. Which means our answer is even. So when we have two even numbers added together, we will not have any left over, so our answer is always going to be even. Letter C says, is this true every time two even numbers are added together? Why or why not? Yes, it is. We will never have any left over. Okay, so when you add two even numbers, the answer is always going to be even. Now let's do two odd numbers. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with the dots. Plus 15. Okay, and then I'm going to circle the pairs. 1, 2, 4. So I have two left over here, one for each number, but if I connect both of these, it makes one more pair. So, are there any left over? No, our answer is even. Okay, is this true? Is this true every time two odd numbers are added together? Yes, it is. None will be left over. Okay, good. Let's move on. Now we're going to add an even number and an odd number. I'm going to do the same thing with the dots. Plus 11. And then I'm going to circle pairs. Okay, are there any left over? Yes, one in the odd number. Okay, is this true every time an even and an odd number are added together? Yes, one will be left over. Always, because that odd number doesn't have another odd number to make another pair with. So there will always be an odd number when you add an even and an odd. So what is the first add in and is odd and the second is even? So they're asking us, what if we switch the order? The sum will still be the same. The sum will still be the same. So let's sum it up. Even plus even equals even. Odd plus odd equals even. Odd plus even equals odd. Okay, now we are going to look at some multiplication rules. Okay, and this was on an exploratory challenge, so I need to find it real fast. No, that's not it. There it is. So even and odd numbers. And let me see. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the product of two even numbers is even. So let's do the product. Remember, is the answer to a multiplication problem. 4 times 4 equals 16, all even. Okay, 6 times 6 equals 36, all even. 10 times 10, all even equals 100. So when you multiply two even numbers, they are always going to be even. The product of two odd numbers, 7 times 7 equals 49. They're always going to be odd. Okay, 9 times 9 equals 81. Always going to be odd. 3 times 3 equals 9. Always going to be odd. So when you multiply two odd numbers, the answer is always going to be odd. Now I'm going to multiply an even number and an odd number. 6 times 7 is 42. Going to be even. Okay, 4 times 3 is 12. It's going to be even. And let's do 5 times 6 equals 30. It's going to be even. So when you multiply an even number and an odd number, it is always going to be even. All right, guys, you're going to get a problem set that looks just like this. Okay, the lesson summary. The sum of two even numbers is even. The sum of two odd numbers is even. The sum of an even number and an odd number is odd. When you're multiplying, the product of two even numbers is even. The product of two odd numbers is odd. And the product of an even number and an odd number is even. Your problem set's going to look just like this. Okay, you are not solving. Okay, it says without solving, tell whether each sum or product is odd. You are just telling me whether each answer is going to be odd or even. So you are not going to be solving these problems. These problems, you're just telling me whether the answer is going to be odd or even from the rules that we learned. All right, guys, have a great day. Good luck. Let me know if you need any help.